Welcome back to episode 4. In this episode, we're going to continue our pursuit for profit while also looking at the possibility of introducing some public transport. First off, we need to carry on making some more money, and I think we're going to make a few more adjustments to the taxis, but to start, I'm just going to put a few more offices in place, I think. Okay, let's make a few more changes to the taxis. I think what we're going to do is, because we've got a lot of residents wanting to come in, I'm going to knock the residential tax up a little bit. I'm going to leave the offices where they are. We could do with getting some more offices in. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring the industrial taxis up to 20%. That should lift us into profit. Yeah, so that's making us a little bit more money now. It will also control the amount of industry what the city wants. I was saying in the last episode, I don't really think we've got much more space to incorporate any more industry really. But the main thing is we are now starting to make some profit. Everyone could certainly be happier, although actually we might be able to bring that residential tax back down. Something else I've just realised, I never adjusted the budget for the water. So at the moment we're going to be producing vastly more water. We're going to have vastly more water coming in than we actually need. Yeah. So our output is like 103,000. What is vastly more than we need? Water. Let's take it down to 60%, see how that does. 62,000. Okay, what if we take it right down to 50%? Oh, we're still well over. Well, that's fine, that'll work well. That's making us a bit more money, and what we'll do is we'll pass the savings on to the residents, and that should balance out roughly. So we'll stick in the final bit of offices just over on this little section, and hopefully after that we'll just bring the taxes up on offices a little bit in a attempt that we can reduce the industrial tax slightly. We've got a cross in there, we might as well just bring that path in as well, mightn't we? There we go. So we've got a reasonable little bit of office space in now. I mean, we're going to want more, but as we increase the taxis, that's going to drop down a bit. But as long as we stay in profit, that is the main thing. So let's take it up to 12%. It's not a huge increase, but it's going to add a little bit more on, and let's just see if we can reduce this down to 19. But we'll just keep an eye on the finances for a couple of minutes. All I'm doing is waiting to make sure we stay in profit. The moment we put the bus station or the bus depot in, we're going to lose all this, so the more we can build up for the moment, the better off we'll be really. So what I think I'm going to do is just leave this running for sort of 15-20 minutes just to build some money up, just to give us a little more breathing room before we put the bus station in, because I think that's 150,000 just to put that in straight away. Yeah, okay, I'm going to leave that running for a few minutes so we can build up a bit of money to put in some public transport. So I'll come back to you in a moment. Okay, I left that running a little while, and we've actually just got the next milestone unlocked, so it's probably a good time to push on with some public transport. So I've been thinking about it, and we're not earning a huge amount of money, and whatever public transport we place is going to take us into a deficit again. So what I'm thinking is, for the time being, I'm just going to place the taxi depot. It's slightly cheaper to place than the bus station, the bus depot, say, and its upkeep is less. So I think it's a worthwhile trade-off. Now, the only decision what we need to make is where should the depot be. I kind of like the idea of the taxi depot actually being in the high street, so it's easily accessible, and it's in a position where it's pretty good to serve the surrounding community. So I'm actually going to put it down on this far corner. But the next thing I want to do is actually tackle the residents. We need to try and squeeze more in, but we are running out of space. So what I'm thinking is developing this area further. I said about upgrading this road, so I think I'm going to do that and then try and squeeze a small bit of housing or something into this area, and the same along here, and hopefully around here. So now I'm just going to add a alleyway across, and hopefully this will now fill up with new zoning tiles. There we go, we've got a bit more of an area now that we can zone. I'm going to try and squeeze some of the medium density buildings in, mainly because we want to try and maximise the revenue we're getting. Okay, so I've finished zoning that in now. I'll save you the monotony of watching most of it, but you can see I've used pathways to force the zoning onto the inside where I want it, keeping this main ring road around the area as clear as possible for traffic. In time we'll come back in and do some decorating and stuff, but at the moment I'm really focusing on just trying to get this money moving in the right direction. I think if we do a bit more clever zoning in and around this lumber area, trying to squeeze some bits in, we could just pull the fence back from the road a little bit, squeeze some in. We've got this little area what we could expand, although I'd rather try and keep this clear because it's where the bridge across to eventually what will be the harbour port is going to come across here. I'd like to try and keep that as clear as possible, but we could make a small estate over here. I don't want to go too far past this point. Then again, we might be able to squeeze a few more in here. I wanted to try and keep this area a bit lower density, but at the moment we need to make the money. However, saying all of that, we have no demand for industry at the moment. I think it's worth risking reducing the tax on the industry, but let's try it. What's the worst what's going to happen? So this is going to have halved the amount of money it's producing, but hopefully with this is going to come an increased demand for industry. There we go. Excellent. We've got a boost in industry again, or demand for industry. I think I'm going to peel this farmland back a bit, and we can just have a strip of industry down here, and we'll just have to try and squeeze some bits in as and when we can. Maybe we can even sort of leave this section like almost have an L shape of industry along the farmland, along the forestry land. There we go, that's a bit better. Yeah, I think that should do. It's gonna at least create some opening, and although I don't really like doing mass zoning, I'm just gonna do it to maximise what we can produce at the moment. So we've still got a bit more demand for the industry, so again I think I'm just going to have to zone these areas and be done with it. Again, I don't want to go any further past this point. I like the idea of this being kept clear. I know it's a silly little thing, but I feel like it could make a really nice, interesting episode to really detail that entire area. Maybe have some paths through the woodland with some benches where you could sit down if you're morning or just exploring the area. Unreliable internet services. That's part of the communication, isn't it? $5 grand a month. Oh, that's radio masking, isn't it? In fact, could we get the radio masking? I mean, we can't get it to cover everywhere. Go on, let's put it in. Oh wow, the industry's rebounded quite quickly actually, because that dropped down to about 70 grand from 140, I think it is, before we gave it the tax break. I mean, we've still got considerable demand for industry, so maybe we should just give them the tax break as well. I mean, it's 12% there. Let's just take them down to 10%. Right, we're starting to look in a bit more of a positive position now, and hopefully I might be able to start showing you a bit more consecutive footage. But the thing is, there's been so much of this, like, build a little bit of space, upgrade it. It's just going to be boring to watch, I think. So I hope you can all understand, and if I'm wrong, set me straight. But most of it has just been doing little bits like this. Right, we can get a bit more industry in here just to help make a little more profit, and rinse and repeat. Find another space where we can squeeze some bits in. Oh, we want some more offices, that's fine. The only problem with the offices is we haven't actually got that many highly educated people in the city at the moment. So this nice shopping centre, what I envisioned, is becoming more of an office estate. That's fun. I really don't want it to get any bigger. Demand's continuing to grow, and people are moving in as and where they can. Could we squeeze another little estate in here, maybe? Yes. Well, I'm sorry guys, there's nothing personal. Honestly, nothing personal. Again, I'm going to try and squeeze a little bit more medium density in here as well, just to try and create a bit of variation and maximise the efficiency of the space. I certainly don't think we're squeezing anything else in here. Oh, we could get a couple more little houses in there. Not sure how I missed those, but finish off the row. Okay, we're starting to get there now. 2.3 grand at the moment profit. It's not a huge amount, but we are making some some actual revenue off it now. And taxis look pretty good, to be fair. I mean, the commercial zone could come down a fraction. I mean, how much is that? 38, 20, oh, 26. Oh, it was on 13%. We'll drop it down to 12%. It's moving in the right direction. I just don't want to lose too much in one go. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not enough money in order to create a power station. but it might just be enough money to at least unlock the next tile. What is something we're going to have to greatly consider what we're going to do. The other thing what we need to think about is what I'm going to unlock. I've got the road tools. Could certainly do with unlocking the parking. That does at least manage to generate a small bit of income. Although I was wondering about possibly going straight into the coal station, because that does produce a huge amount of power. What the small coal station does up to 20 megawatts. The coal power plant does 300 megawatts. However, it has a price tag what comes with it as well. But I think for now, I'm going to leave it here for this episode, because we are finally making some reasonable profit. And in the next episode, I think we're going to have to tackle the power situation. But the benefit of doing that is we'll be buying a new tile. We'll put the power station in, what will not only supply the demand for the power we need, but it's also going to give us the option to really ramp up our industrial area and create a much more fitting area. So lots to consider. What I'll probably do is between now and the next episode, I'll probably just leave it running for a bit more, try and build up a bit more money so we're in a real good financial spot for the start of the next episode. Again, I apologise for this episode jumping around so much. I just don't want you to get bored seeing the same sort of things. But overall, we're doing really well. We've got the taxis back down, what is a massive thing. Next, we're going to have to start increasing budgets and stuff again. That can be done slowly for some things, certainly the water and the electricity as we need. But that's all stuff for other episodes. But anyway, if you made it to the end, thank you very much. Please do let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll see you next time. To watch my most recent video, click here. To subscribe, click here. To watch this series from the beginning, click here. And to watch a randomly recommended video, click here.